What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about Hedda. This is currently available on Amazon Prime Video. This is part of their For Your Consideration season, and it's already picked itself up a Gotham nomination. So, is it any good? Let's discuss, shall we? It does have audio description by Media Access Group. It stars Tessa Thompson, Nina Haas, Imogene Poots, Tom Bateman, Katherine Hunter, and it's an adaptation of the Henry Gibson play Hedda Gabler, which I'm not familiar with. I don't think I've seen a version of this. It has apparently been adapted numerous times, and I feel stupid, like saying I haven't seen Hamlet. But such is the world. Uh, I felt very new to the story and following this concept. So I had to educate myself about this work a little bit, and it was adapted. It was published in 1890, and this is set in the 1950s. So they have modernized it somewhat. They've also race swapped and added some queerness to it to help flavor and spice it up, which honestly, when you have a work that is adapted like a billion times, you could just keep beating the dead horse and keep doing the exact same adaptation over and over every couple of years, or you could try to see if you can push new ground and do something different with it. It doesn't always pay off, but sometimes it does. I don't have anything to compare it against, but as a standalone piece, I enjoyed Hedda. I think Nia Decosta does an excellent job of pacing through here. I didn't feel like my time was wasted. There was certainly a drive and an urgency to the pacing as we move through the story. She starts off sort of with this interesting quote that kind of sets you off with this, ooh, something will not be uh, in all happiness at the end of this. And how far is this film going to go? And sort of headed off on that journey, and you don't know uh, unless you followed the project. But even with that, because of the changes, you could be convinced of the fact that, well, maybe Nia's playing a little bit with the ending as well. So at least you have a fresh experience. I would think, even if you have seen this, that maybe there's a slight twist, maybe there's a little bit of a change, maybe there's a slightly different approach to the landing, instead of 100% carbon copy the work. So I love Tessa Thompson as an actress in general. I've always thought she just needs the right project to get her to the Oscars. I don't think this is it. Hedda just seems to have such a low profile. Amazon MGM is going to have to push really hard to get her there, although it seems like there's a lot of goodwill for Tessa Thompson, so it's not impossible. But it just is, it's such a huge push for a film that seems to only be resonating with just her performance, even though I really enjoyed the score. It's got one of those sort of like clashing, feeling a little bit outside the period, bombastic scores at the time. It reminded me a little bit of those percussion heavy scores that were in like Birdman and Saturday Night at times, but it's not that for the whole film. It's only that in certain scenes. It's got a little bit of that um, clusterfuck appeal to it. And it's got Nina Haas I thought she was great. I mean, we talk a lot about Tessa Thompson here, but Nina Haas has been doing some excellent work, and I was just as attracted to her performance as I was Tessa's in supporting. And I mean, that's what happened with Tar, is that Nina Haas started trending with Tar, and like, oh, is Nina Haas going to get in the supporting actress race? I think Nina once again makes a case for herself that she uses her screen on time very well when given a limited amount of time. Also, Katherine Hunter, who was my pick in 2021 for Best Supporting Actress for her work in Tragedy of Macbeth, also does a really good job of making sure that she uses her limited screen time to the maximum effect. So three ladies giving excellent performances, although of the supporting actresses, I would give Nina the edge here over Catherine. Just in screen time, Catherine is used more as an expository tool, just a really good one. And Nina is much more of a presence, and it's exactly the kind of Nina Haas performance that I feel like is perfect for her. It's just like this is a combination where Nia Decosta knows how to direct Tessa Thompson, but also knows how to direct Nina Haas, and these two performances stood out for me a lot. I like Tom Bateman; he's fine. It's kind of like an interchangeable role where I don't think he made an individual contribution. I feel like his role could have been swapped with like 100 different actors, and he would have been just fine here. Like I kind of I don't know what Tom Bateman looks like, but being blind, but because I could see at some point in life, I kept imagining Matthew McFadden in this role because I do know what he looks like. So every time I heard Tom Bateman speak, like in my mind, the movie that I was casting in my head, it was Matthew McFadden. And so if you think about, and then you go back and you're like, well, with Matthew McFadden's voice, yeah, I can see Matthew McFadden in this role. Like it's not really that insurmountable to just I feel like this is sort of a little bit of the everyman type of performance because it's such a tour de force for Thompson that it's almost like accidental that Nina Haas takes any sort of light away from that performance at all, that she's able to find the moments as Eleanor, the ex-lover of Hedda, and then Imogene Poots plays the current interest of Hedda, who is exploring her queerness. She's married to Tom Bateman, but clearly likes side dalliances in a world that doesn't allow them, in a world that this is not an open world that says, well, welcome. They haven't completely changed the 1950s. But Thompson is, her Hedda is suggestive of the fact that, well, maybe we could do this. Maybe, we're kidding ourselves. And then she has to sort of be convinced, and it's part of just a smaller undercurrent of one of the themes they try to explore now that they've added queerness and sort of racial identity as undertones to a story that didn't initially have them. But I think Nia DaCosta really makes them work in a way that I wasn't really expecting. I didn't really know what to expect from Hedda because it seems like since its premiere at Toronto International Film Festival, its response has been somewhat positive, but also not ecstatic. And I'm a little closer to the ecstatic on this. I don't think it's the best movie of the year, but I certainly found a film that I thought was a period piece that feels very much like what we're doing in 2025 with a lot of period pieces by trying to inject like new life and new energy in them by taking things that have been adapted 1,000 times and finding a new way to to tell their story and reflect it in a way. I think this is what makes Nia DaCosta exciting as a director. I think it's well directed. I'm sure the costumes look amazing. The audio description was terrific. It did specifically address the elephant in the room in terms of race, instead of trying to pretend like it wasn't there, like it didn't exist. There was obviously an intentionality here with casting, so it addressed which characters were white and which characters were black, because that was obviously a choice that they had decided to put in this play instead of just adapting it straight from Henry Gibson's 1890s work. So when you have to embrace the intentionality of the casting, and believe it or not, you would think it's that simple, but it's really not. I've seen so many other ones where they have intentionality in casting, and then it's never mentioned in the audio description. Disney's really bad about this. Disney's really bad about using it, about having projects where they've intentionally diversified the cast and gender swapped and race swapped and done all that kind of stuff. And then the audio description is as vanilla and neutral and bullshit as humanly possible. So this could have ignored it. This could have just pretended like Tessa Thompson was white and just gone that way and been like, this is the character from Passing. Oh my God, look at that. It's just Passing for white again. but luckily it does actually address that, so you can think about those themes as the movie progresses. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be on my list. I feel like Hedda is very much in contention for anything that I could vote for on my own personal list for the end of the year. Did immediately like skyrocket to the top of anything. So it's not like and there's still more films left to say, but yeah, I very much liked Hedda as a movie, and I would recommend it. I did not like the chapters, especially considering in my research, this goes up to 5 chapters, and from what I can tell, Gibson's work is 4. So I thought maybe they were following the same structure. So if that's true, I really don't even get it. Like collectively, I think it's weird, and it's something that we do more and more now, and it's so unnecessary. It's like just direct your movie. It just breaks the flow. Like there's nothing significant about the chapters. I would say the only film that I've seen this year that would benefit from chapters is Weapons, because they actually completely change the perspective. So you're actually watching a completely different person, like start from, you're switching to their perspective. So it lets you know like who's here. This is just like the story, and it's evolving as we move forward. I don't know what it gained. Like that's the one thing that I think that Nia did wrong here, is I don't know that she gains anything by having chapters. And I think if you're going to do chapters, they have to make sense, and there has to be a reason for doing them. And it can't just be, well, it's a book or it's a play and there are chapters, or because there are plenty of books that we've adapted over the years that don't use that. Could you imagine if we adapted a book that had like 30 some odd chapters, and then like um like you're like on chat, you just like, you're like 27, my god, like you're just sitting there watching all these numbers pass by, and you're like, this is for reference purposes, so in case we're reading along like during the movie, you can say, well, this is where we are. And also I've seen some really idiotic choices with chapters too, like She Taught Love. I still remember that. That's such a I did not like that movie. I thought it was very mediocre, but there are chapters where she taught and then love. I was like, what? Please stop making chapters, directors, unless it absolutely compels you, unless the power of Christ is compelling you. Like, and you need an exorcism or something. I don't know, but it is one of the weirdest trends that we have in cinema right now. So I need it to end. I need it to stop. And yeah, that's it. So Hedda. I think you should see it. Do? Will you? I don't know. We live in a world where people are like, oh, they race swapped it. I don't know if I can see it. It sounds like a 4-letter word that begins with W. God. But I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I guess live dangerously. I'm gonna give Hedda. I'm gonna give Hedda an 8.1 out of 10. So I think this is a fun movie, and I liked it, and it's got some thrills in it. But it's not like nerve-wracking, it's not like, oh my god, like I wasn't clawing away my skin or anything like that. I just thought it had a nice rhythm to it, a nice flow, and I love pacing. Like, thank you for good pacing and great casting. And I think this award season, if we're gonna talk about Tessa, I think we should also talk about Nina. Like, at least try, because Nina's been doing some really solid work, and she's very good here. So I'd love to see her pop up on a list somewhere from a group that really liked Hedda. Like, if you really like Hedda, please bring both Tessa and Nina with you. This is very much a bring along, carry along this. I would enjoy seeing more Tessa slash Nina than I would see Ethan slash Andrew from Blue Moon. I just want Ethan, not necessarily Andrew. Here, I actually think seeing Nina follow Tessa into the race would be lovely. I think she complements the film very well. So, anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.